please welcome U.S. Senator and my friend, Marco Rubio.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Actually, you know the best way to start this is to remind ourselves when you hear those guys, I don't know what they're screaming, but they can't do that in China. And it reminds us of how blessed and privileged we are to be Americans. And let me tell you why that matters, because oh, it's just one guy. I thought there was like 50 of them. Some guy in a white jacket. All right, a coat. Anyway. He's obviously not a doctor or he'd be here protesting Obamacare. Guys, the debate in Washington is about a lot of things. But at its core, the debate we're having in Washington, D.C., that you're a major part of, is what our country's going to be going forward. Now, for the last century, it's been the greatest society in all of human history. That's a fact. Never in the history of the world has there been a nation or an economy or a society like ours. It's not the result of our government. What made America great was never our government. What's made America great is our people. People that, quite frankly, of all walks of life, who, for example, started a business out of the spare bedroom of their home, who didn't come from privilege, but in essence had a great idea and took out their life savings and used it to open up a business. And because they did, people had jobs and opportunity. These are the things that have made America exceptional and unique. Now, there's always been a role for our government to play, but never in our history has government been the dominant institution in our society. We've now reached a point, unfortunately, where we have more government than we can afford. Our government spends money it does not have, and not a little bit more. It spends a lot more. It borrows $4 billion a day just to keep the lights on in the federal government. The alarming part of it is that a significant portion of this money that we borrow is used to pay interest on the debt. Interest of which a significant portion goes directly to China. If you watch some of the things that China's building up, it's your interest, it's your tax dollars are going to pay interest on the debt, of which they are close to being, and at some days are, our largest single foreign holder of our debt. This is a major problem. Our economy is only $14 trillion large, and I say only, it's the largest economy in the world at $14 trillion. Our debt is even higher than that. And in 10 years, our debt is scheduled to be $26 trillion. There is no way that our economy can ever grow fast enough to keep pace with that. And so the fundamental debate we're having right now in Washington, D.C. is what does our country want to be moving forward? Now, the president the other day stood before a teleprompter and read a speech about what he plans to do about our economy moving forward. And the gist of the speech was that behind every problem that America faces, there's some new government program that can solve it. The gist of his speech is that he's prepared to engage in class warfare and use the power of government to pick winners and losers so that we can fund a larger government. Because somehow in his mind, the things that have made America great are our government programs. His vision of America is one that embraces that role for government. And when you embrace that role for government, you have to embrace things like higher taxes and more regulations. But if that's the road we choose, if we choose the road that this president and the leadership in the Senate want to take us on, we will lose all the things that make us special and unique. The world is full of places that look, the world is full of places that have big government and look like the kind of country that the president is advocating. And you know why I know the world is full of places like this? Because people from all these countries are dying to come here. And so, there is another road. And that other road is for us to embrace all the things that have made us exceptional and unique. If we want America to remain exceptional, then let's do the things that made us exceptional. And it starts with reminding ourselves that what makes us special is not our government. It's our people. It's people, reminding ourselves that government doesn't create jobs. It can create an environment where jobs are created, but jobs are created by you. They're created by people who have a dream or a belief. And you go to the bank and you take out your life savings and you use that to open up a business. And when you open your business, that business grows and you hire people. And then you hire more people. And those people now can provide for their families. It's called economic growth. It's worked well for America. What makes us exceptional and unique is a government that has something like a safety net, but not as a way of life. That has regulations to protect public safety, but not regulations that exist to justify themselves or to torment job creators or to justify the existence of the regulators. These are the things that we are facing at the core of our debate. And that's what we need to embrace and fight for. The people that are out there arguing against us, now, you see some of the things they say, and you have to scratch your head. They accuse us of wanting to take apart Medicare for seniors. The people who pretend that Medicare can continue to do what it's doing now and survive, they're not saying the truth. Medicare is going bankrupt. It will not exist, and it will bankrupt our nation if we don't do something to save it and reform it. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're not telling the truth. Social Security will go bankrupt. And if we do nothing, it will bankrupt itself and then our country. And the people that are telling you we don't have to do anything are not telling you the truth. And those that go around talking about raising taxes on people who can afford to pay more, what they're not telling you is that even with these tax increases they propose, the spending they propose is even bigger. And worst of all, it will destroy job creation. The world has changed. There are too many other countries now that want to take our businesses away. And if you threaten to raise taxes, what are these companies and job creators going to do? They're going to stop creating jobs in America and increasingly look elsewhere. We've got to grow our economy, and we've got to bring spending under control. And the best and perhaps last chance we will have to do that before this next election is this debate on the debt limit. And let me tell you, what they're going to come and say, they're already practicing. If we don't raise the debt limit, the world will come to an end. If we don't raise the debt limit, it will lead to catastrophe. Well, let me tell you something. If all we do is raise the debt limit, if government just comes in and raises the debt limit and doesn't do anything else to show that Washington is serious about bringing its fiscal house in order, it will be even more catastrophic. Because it will send a message that America is not serious about solving this very serious problem. That's the reason why I voted against the budget deal yesterday. Listen, I respect the speaker. I know he worked hard. I know he thinks he did the best he could in this issue. I understand all that. But this is a major problem. This is a major problem. What we're facing now is a major problem, not a minor problem. And we are running out of time. You know, there used to be a time when we would give these speeches and we would say, if we don't solve this, our grandchildren are going to inherit a diminished country. A few years later, nothing happened, and we started saying, if we don't solve this, our children are going to inherit a diminished country. I'm sorry to tell you, we're now at a point where if we don't deal with this, we all will live to see the day that this becomes a diminished country. We are running out of time. Now, I want to tell you something. I believe in my heart that we're going to get it right. And let me tell you why I believe we're going to get it right. Because as messed up as our government is, as bad as the decisions being made in Washington, D.C. are, the people of our country are as great as they have ever been. There is nothing wrong with the American people. Nothing. We are just as creative, we are just as resourceful, we are just as productive as we have ever been. There's nothing wrong with the American people. You know, recently I was talking to my mom. My mom, as you was said earlier, wasn't born here. She was born in Cuba. And I thank God every day that the United States was 90 miles from the shores of Cuba and not some other country. Because I was born with the privilege and honor of being a citizen of the greatest society in all of human history. My parents lost their homeland to communism, but when she was a younger person, before all that happened, they didn't have CNN or Fox. They didn't have cable news, and the little news she could get about America was on those newsreels they used to run before the movies. You remember that? She was a teenager, late teen, early 20s, during the beginning and end of World War II. And the only thing she knew about America is that it was these extraordinary people who had defeated the Nazis. Understand that when the Nazis first started marching through Europe, nobody thought they could be stopped. And then America got involved and defeated them. And then Americans rebuilt Germany. And then Americans left and asked for nothing in return. And as a young adult, a late teen, my mom didn't understand that concept. Who are these people, she would ask herself. Who are these incredible people that defeat this unstoppable force and then rebuild them and then leave? They didn't turn them into a state or a colony. They just left and asked for nothing in return. Well, they're the same people that put a man on the moon. They're the same people that every time disaster has struck anywhere in the world, not just its government, but its individuals are the first to respond. They're the same people that have sent their sons and daughters to bleed and die for other people's freedoms. They're the same people that have invented not just brand new industries. They're the people, we are the same people that have invented the iPhone and the iPad. All these modern marvels that have made the world a better place. If America loses that, there's no one to take our place. There's no other country in the world ready to be who we are. There is no second best waiting to take our spot. It's not just that America cannot afford to be diminished. The world cannot afford for America to be diminished. A world without America's light will be a darker place. We are still the hope of all the world. For even as we speak, there are people and nations all across this planet that know that there is something better than what they have, that believe that their nation can one day be free, and know that they can be more than what they have done, because people just like them are doing it in a place like this. What would the world have looked like over the last 100 years if there wasn't a powerful and strong America committed to its founding principles? There'd be a lot more communism and a lot more oppression. Not only do we need America, the world needs America. And it has fallen upon this generation of Americans to ensure it. We're not alone in that. Every generation that came before us, every single one, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, every single generation had to face a challenge to what made our nation great. And every single one of them confronted it, and they solved it. And now it's our turn. The threat that we face is right before us. And the choice before us is very clear. We can choose to become like the rest of the world. And if we stay on the road that this president and the leadership of the Senate have us on, that is what we will become, just like every other country on the planet. Or we can choose to remain exceptional. We can choose to embrace a free enterprise system of government and of economy that has eradicated more poverty than all the government programs in the world combined. We can choose to say that we will not be afraid to confront and defeat the spread of radical Islam wherever it rears its head. And we can choose to continue to say that we will not only write these words, but we will live by the words of our founding. That all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator, not their government, not their king or their president, but by their Creator with inalienable rights. These are the principles of our founding. They are as true today as they were then. Now it's up to us to make it happen. I want to thank you for the honor and the privilege and the blessing to serve in the United States Senate. I pray every single day. I pray every single day, and I ask you to do the same. That I will not forget the reasons why I ran or the principles that I ran on. It's the reason why I voted against that budget and the continuing resolutions, and it's the reason why I will be your voice against raising this debt limit until this country is serious about getting on the right track. Continue doing what you're doing. We're going to win this battle. Thank you very much.